Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. Today I am joined by Greg from Squawka and Gaz. You know,
from Timperley.
Yeah, Gaz from Timperley. I'm Adam. We're outside the DW Stadium now. We're here to talk about pre-season for Manchester United under Jose Mourinho. Now we know we've had one game, we've won 2-0. That's out of the way. So now, how do we see this pre-season going? Do we expect any more signings? Do we expect the manager to tinker with a few things and maybe try and get something right that he's not sure about yet? We'll come to Greg because he knows a lot more than me and Gaz, just about things in general. Yeah, he just knows a lot more about things in general. So, Greg, talk some sense to us, please.
Well, I mean, we probably are going to get another signing, aren't we? Because there's number 4, which Mourinho said he wants those 4 players he wants to sign. And I think everyone kind of knows now it's probably going to be Pogba if all goes to plan. That's what the rumours are. He kind of fits the bill of what Mourinho's looking for that 4th player. If he comes in, I mean, changes the whole complexion of the season. Not that we're on to a bad hiding at all, but I mean, it's Paul Pogba, isn't it? He's kind of the midfielder that we should have never sold. I mean, you look today, Mkhitaryan was very good. I was really impressed by him. But also, like Bailly, I thought Bailly was fantastic at the back. Took a little bit too much on at times, but especially the way he was directing Jose Mourinho as well. There's one bit where Jose Mourinho didn't do a run and Bailly was on the ball, stepped forward. He's just like, "What are you doing? Get forward!" And I like that, and that's kind of. I mean, Smalling's got a lot of qualities, but he's a bit quiet at times. You have Bailly doing that kind of thing from the back is going to be good. So I think the main thing for me for pre-season is just seeing how these big 4 names that we've got coming in, how they're going to kind of work together, how it's going to fit into a starting lineup, and how guys like Rooney are going to fit in. Because at the moment, that's where I'm not sure how it's all going to work really.
Do you think a lot of players have their futures to play for?
Yeah, massively. We've heard that Daley Blind's probably going to be on his way out. Juan Mata's probably going to be on his way out if you believe certain rumours.
So Squawka haven't heard. These are just the rumours you're talking about.
These are just the rumours. Yeah. I'm not putting my name to it like that.
Exclusive.
Yeah. No. But I mean, having said that, I think today, especially Blind, I thought he was really good. I think when Bailly kind of did take a little bit too much on, Blind was there to kind of step in and go, "I got this." He covered really well. I mean, Matt got the assist for the first goal, but that was more of a Jaskalainen
It was a
chance.
snide FIFA
It was.
X-Circle moment.
It really was. Yeah, and I do think that the jury's still out on Matt. You saw like the first half, Mkhitaryan, he was the centre of everything. He was the focal point. Matt came on, it became a bit more fluid, and Mourinho said he wants specialists, not kind of taskers. And it was almost like our attack went a bit multifunctional in the second half, and I'm wondering, is that kind of Mourinho? That's not what Mourinho wants. He wants more of the kind of focus on one creator with 2 hard-working wingers. I mean, Depay might not have scored, the shots he should have done, but I thought he worked really hard. I was impressed by his work rate. Same with Jesse Lingard. So, I mean, you look at Oscar, you look at Willian for Chelsea when they won the title. They were hard-working guys. They didn't always get chances or put them away and stuff. So, a lot's got to be said in a Mourinho team for having that kind of extra industry in the final third.
Gaz, did you see anything different from Manchester United? So did you get a feel that maybe this? I know, guys. I know we're talking very early on into the pre-season. We haven't seen a lot, and we're guessing a lot of things.
I can't really say that I saw like anything massively different. Like I say, it's hard. I can sit there and say, yeah, it was a decent controlled performance, but the players looked a bit tired. They were moving maybe a little bit sluggishly because it was the first game of pre-season. But it was decent, it was decent. I mean, I think that the thing that I'll point out or I'll take away from this is the individual performances of some of the new boys. I mean, 2 that Greg just said then, Bailly and Mkhitaryan. I thought that Mkhitaryan was wonderful in that first half, exactly what we've lacked at times in the last couple of seasons, just willing to pick it up, turn, and just run forward. You don't always need to go side to side. You can run forward, and he had no fear doing that today. I know that it's against Wigan in a pre-season friendly, but it was nice to see. Eric Bailly, I loved his little flick over the attacker's head, but I hope he doesn't carry on doing that too much in the Premiership. Does that against the likes of City, then we're in big shit.
Mate, he's just done it to Will Grigg.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. But, so I was impressed at the individual performances. Fozzie Mensah I thought was good, especially since...
Again, we're not going into... You're going into a review of the game,
No. Yeah, the Fozzie Mensah, though, I think that he's a key... I mean, you were saying to me, weren't you, during the game about you think Mourinho will like him, and he is a Mourinho-type player, but... As Mourinho said, he doesn't like these multifunctional players. He likes players to have a position and stay in it. So I think that if he's gonna go with Fosu Mensah, then going into the season, I think he needs to decide: is he a defender? Is he a midfielder? I think he's a midfielder. I think he's got all the attributes to play a great holding midfield role, and I hope that Jose plays him there next season. To be honest,
I think what we could be seeing is we haven't got a right back. I don't know if this will happen long term Fosu could play that position. Carrick's only on a 1-year contract. You know, things could change quickly in a space of 12 months. And with Fosu getting football, be amazing. Do you expect to see any formation changes? Because we play the same kind of 4-2-3-1 that we have seen under Louis van Gaal. Obviously, the tempo was different.
I think 4-2-3-1 kind of fits what Mourinho said he was going to do in his first press conference. If he's going to be all about the specialists rather than the kind of multifunctional guys, that's pretty much what the 4-2-3-1's built for. Every single position in that team, you've got to have a brilliant specialist for that exact job. They've all got to work together. So I think if that's the one he played today, I could see him sticking with that throughout, really. One thing I would say, the thing I noticed from that performance, and again, the caveat is first friendly of the season, can't really read too much into it. But I thought the fullbacks behaved very differently than they did last season under Van Gaal. It always seemed like in a Van Gaal team, the fullbacks almost work into like the programming he'd put in their heads. You know, they kind of go wide, they hang there a bit too long, wouldn't kind of take the runs a lot of their kind of midfielders expecting to see on the overlap coming to support them. Whereas this today, it was a lot more free-form, a lot more natural, a lot more relaxed. They were allowed to come narrow as well. With Van Gaal, we often like them to go out and kind of set like these reference points out wide for the width of the team. Whereas it looked more like, you know, just a standard back four, which we're all used to seeing in the Premier League, really. And with Fosu Mensah, I mean, he could be our Azpilicueta. He looked very good when he kind of tucked in and just kind of, you know, backed up what Bailly was doing. He just has to kind of work on his timing and knowing when to go and when to come back, I think. But that comes with experience in the position.
You're a Manchester United fan, but you also obviously you get to go to press at games like this and stuff. What's the feel, you know, when you see the players all coming in, or when the manager walks in to a press conference? What's the feel in comparison to last year? Because we asked Paddy Crevin the same question, and he said it's buzzing.
Well, unfortunately, there was no post-match presser from Mourinho today, and there was no mix zone properly as well. So I would probably have to defer to Mr. Crerand on that one. But I mean, from all reports, it sounds like there's an energy, there's a kind of direction. I mean, look at the signings that they've done this summer as well. There's none of this dithering or kind of uncertainty and waiting to get things done. It sounds like Mourinho's come in, he's given a really sharp focus. In the kind of same way that Fergie did to a lot of the departments of the team. It's not just the tactics, it's not just training. He seems to have given a real sense of direction to the entire club. And in some ways, United, they're kind of built for dictators. They're built for these all-encompassing managers that come in and they become the reference point for everything in the entire club. That's what Fergie was. He might have, got in some very good second-in-commands and delegated really well towards the end, but still, it was always him, wasn't it? He was the centre of the whole web. And I think Mourinho, he hasn't proven he can do it over more than a 3-year period at the other clubs he's been to, but he has got that kind of hunger for power. And he obviously knows what he's doing as well. So I just think a club at United that hasn't got directors of football and other systems that work probably a bit of a smarter thing to do in a world where you're not going to find a Sir Alex Ferguson every 3 years. But
every 3 years, every 3 billion years.
What I'm saying is if we only have Mourinho for 3 years, we might be in the same problem we had without him. That's my concern in terms of the actual kind of institutional stuff that's very boring and you probably want to talk about on fan cams. But for now, we've got Mourinho. He looks the part. He looks to kind of energise everyone, and that can only be good for the season ahead.
Adam, could I just say...
Yeah, I'm coming to you now.
No, you just said there that the whole place is... You can imagine the whole place is buzzing. That's what Paddy Crerand said. Can you imagine how much more buzzing it's going to be? Even more buzzing if, and it's a massive if, Paul Pogba rocks up. Mate, it will be going off behind the scenes at United. It'll give the whole club a massive boost. We've brought, if we can bring in one of the best players in the world, but it's a massive, massive if, and I hope we go all out to get him now. I hope we do it.
He mentioned earlier that it's the thing with letting him go and all that stuff, and now he's coming back. Can I just say, if we kept him, can you imagine, right now, it would be Real Madrid buying him off us? So, the fact we're buying him now, it kind of prevents that whole situation, and we get him for his best years. So what I would say is I think Fergie pulled off a masterstroke with that one.
Wow.
Anyway, before we finish, I'm going to come to Gaz and say Paddy Crerand said we're going to win the league.
Right.
He wouldn't say anything else. But, I mean, what do we need to do between now and Bournemouth away to give us the best chance of winning?
Best chance. I think if we were to bring in 2 more players now, then we'd have an absolute perfect squad, best squad in the league, in my opinion. If we were to bring in Paul Pogba and then another defender, a more experienced defender who's proven in one of the top leagues in Europe to play alongside Chris Smalling, then we've got best squad in the league and we should be winning it, really. If we don't do that, which I don't think we will, I do think we're going to bring in a midfielder. Not sure who that's going to be yet, but if we do just bring in someone like Paul Pogba, then I think we should definitely be challenging. And now there is no excuse now for Jose Mourinho not to be challenged for the title. But because I didn't expect this type of summer. I didn't expect us to bring all these players in. I'm going to be honest, because last season I was saying it's going to take us a year to fix this, but I didn't expect the summer that we've had already. So I wouldn't accept anything less than a title challenge, I don't think. But you finish fourth and all that, he's obviously not going to get sacked for anything like that. So get behind him, and hopefully it's a good few years under Jose, hopefully.
Gaz is saying we should be challenging for the league. Do you see, and I'm asking the same question as well, what do you think we need to do to get to that position? And do you see maybe, remember the first year he went back to Chelsea and he said, I can't win the league.
Yeah.
Do you see him writing it off like that?
I don't see him writing off, but he does need a season to get things how he likes. I think the amount of money he's been allowed to spend has helped. But at the same time, I mean, it took Van Gaal to his second season to really start clearing the decks of the players he didn't want as well. And that's the thing people forget. It's not about who you sign, it's also about who you clear out. And given the wages that United can offer players, it's not always easy to sell them off elsewhere. So it could take another 12 months for him to really get the squad he wants.
That number 10 looks all right,
He looks very good. Mkhitaryan looks very good. But I don't know. I think title challenge would be nice, but I don't think it's like mandatory for me. I think United...
What was that, Greg?
It's
We're
not
going to win the
mandatory.
league, Greg.
Well,
what was that?
Why not? Why not? But I say one thing I think we need to do if we are going to win the league is not to rely too much on Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which sounds massively negative. But I don't know. He scored those amount of goals in Ligue 1. Let's see if we can do it in the Premier League. I'm not entirely convinced he's going to be Mr. 35 goal striker in England, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
All right,
Sorry.
we ended it on a positive. We were going to win the league, and then just brought us down. Never mind, guys. That's Greg from Squawka. His Gaz from annoying me every day. I'm Adam. Make sure you subscribe to Full Time Devils. Get your comments in below as well. How do you see the rest of the season going? The pre-season. Which players do you want to see brought in? What changes does Jose need to make us be title challengers? And do you agree with Paddy Curran? We're going to win the league. What do you think about Jose's first game, Paddy?
So the first game of the season is always a very difficult game for players. You've not played for some time. It's far harder and more difficult than it is than training.